Welcome to our fourth one-on-one class. Today's topic is all about romanticizing school. Let's begin with our four founders of this concept. First and foremost, we have Rory Gilmore. Up second, we have Miss Blair Waldorf. And third, which is personally my favorite, Hermione Granger. And lastly, basically any one of these YouTubers. They are the productive role models here.
Now, in order for any of these tips to work effectively, we do have to be in the positive mindset. Now, this is a little difficult. Granted, school sucks sometimes, but we first have to replace any negative connotation, belief associated with school, student life, and replace it with a much more positive one. If you are having any trouble doing this, I suggest writing a pros and cons list. For example, in your cons list, you might write out that school is very time consuming. And then on the pros list, I would counteract that with it teaches you how to time manage, which is a skill that will be very helpful in the future. What you're doing is taking all of those negative cons and changing the narrative of them to much more positive ones. By having this positive mindset, it kind of gives you that newfound appreciation for something that you might have disliked before. This will then carry on into your actions and how your grades are doing, your participation, your motivation. Now that we have that covered, we can hence move forth with everything else swiftly. I just watched a video of a guy laughing on a train for 30 seconds, and it goes to show that laughing is contagious. Before school, it just has to be peaceful, romantic, and just simple. If I'm ever on a time crunch, I will do two things at a time, like brushing my teeth and using the toilet. Which, now that I say that out loud, that sounds kind of gross, but saves time. This video is sponsored by Curology. Now, Curology was actually my very first sponsor. They quickly became a part of my skincare routine after that. Now, my skincare routine with Curology is as simple and effective as it gets. It's a 3-step routine that includes my cleanser, my moisturizer, and then my personalized prescription formula. A dermatology provider prescribed my custom formula, adjust my specific skincare concerns. Because a part of my skincare concerns was anti-aging, I did experience a bit of purging, which is normal, but in experiencing that, I was able to consult my dermatology provider. They messaged me back with steps that I could take and also let me know that I could change my custom formula to help address those purging concerns. But I actually didn't end up changing my formula. I was willing to trust the process, and now look at my skin. Even without makeup, I feel confident in my own skin. I think that is something that is really important. Super cool to be working with Curology again. I will always vouch for them, trust me. Thank you again to Curology for sponsoring today's video. Alexa, play Paris Cafe music. Doing my makeup in the morning not only wakes me up, but it kind of gives me that sense of ease that I am ready for school. I look cute for school. I also think I've just gotten to the habit now of doing my makeup, which I think kind of started in high school when I was more experimenting with it, but also when I had crushes. Makeup is done. After this, I like to pick out an outfit. It basically brings everything together, which I think I have an idea. I'm wearing this little dark maroon lip, I thought it would be cute to pair it with this top as well. And then the best part about it, I don't know if the socks go, they look really bad, but I also did end up doing my hair a bit. I'll do it if I want to look extra cute, but most of the times I'll just brush it and call it a day. But now for the final step of this morning routine is to make a guys, I think I have found my calling is matcha making. This is the very last thing I'll do before I go to class. Sometimes I'll make a matcha to go, especially if I know it's going to be one of those long classes where I have to sit through 2 hours. If you have been making matchas and you haven't been making them with a whole little set like this, I highly recommend getting yourself one because it enhances the matcha making experience times 10. And ever since I switched over to ceremonial, I've been making good matcha. I just got my heavy whipping cream to make the cold foam and it's literally frozen. Like, hear any liquid? What the fuck?
What give his hands about?
Heart school. I love school. I love school. I love school. I actually was obsessed with school at one point, especially in elementary school. I think that was like my favorite place to be. Before I head off to campus, I just wanted to quickly jot down what I would be doing for today, because for me, a part of romanticizing is
not stressing.
So if I prepare accordingly, it allows me to stress less, thus enjoying more. I always carry an extra deodorant in my car just in case I forget to put on deodorant, and 9 times out of 10 I do. Cool. Tip number 2 is all about romanticizing your school campus. I encourage you to really explore your campus, find all the little nooks and crannies of it. For example, my campus actually has a bowling alley down this building. I've heard it too many times from my friends being like, I've never been to this Titan Student Union. And every time I'm like, you guys are missing out. These are just such fun and cute things you can do with your friends. With that being said, I am going to show you guys some of my favorite spots. First time I visited my school, I actually was very drawn to these stairs. I thought this would be a perfect, cute study spot. I just love the vibe. It kind of gives like a Korean aesthetic. I don't know. It's probably the wood. I also just discovered the 3rd level of the TSU. For some reason, I never really knew it existed. I think this might be my new favorite area at this school so far. I love the view of the school and the sunlight that comes in. There's also these really big tables for bigger study groups. The bowling alley is literally right behind me. You guys, it costs 25 cents to play this game. I literally don't have 25 cents, which is crazy. But you get the gist. There's an arcade here. I literally left my phone here from when I first sat down. That is so like me. So I found this little nook here. It's a perfect area because there's a table, there's shade. First thing that caught my eye about this little area is actually these flowers on top of it. Most of the time it is occupied here, so this is my first time getting to sit and romanticize. I accidentally discovered a floor I've never been on, and it's just a bunch of books. Do you see the air blowing? My last stop for the day is this little pod. Both of these are kind of like study spaces, but the last one is a bit more comfortable. I've been on a search for a good nap spot, and I think that is going to be it. However, these ones specifically, they're just super cool, and you feel like you want to do work. What better way to romanticize than trapping yourself in a quiet box? Now, there's definitely a lot to appreciate about being a student, the sense of community, the knowing that everyone around you hasn't really figured out life yet. We're all struggling, but we're all also working towards a common goal, and that is our future. The making of friends and getting to study with them. So my advice to you is to really embrace the student life. You should go to your school events and participate in clubs. Granted, if you have the time, but if you're in high school and you are not going to your football games, participating in Spirit Day, those are some years you will never get back. I highly encourage you to just be a student for a couple of years. Being able to appreciate every aspect of the student life, you'll get to really romanticize it and enjoy it to its fullest potential. Next thing to discuss, materials, which I do not have any of. Nice. None of these in particular are necessary by any means. However, as someone who is a aesthetic girly, I find that these help me enjoy school a little bit more. They motivate me in some sort of way. Now, each thing has its purpose. First of all, headphones. I'm a big advocate for like listening to music when you're studying, or if you're walking to class and just need to pick me up. I am always blasting music in these, and it really gets me like pumped up to go to class. Next up, we have planners or any sort of cute notebook that helps with organizing your school schedule. This one is just a plain little notebook. This is where I was jotting down goals, whether it had to do with school or just like, and then we have this planner, which is more structured to help you organize in a more specific way. This one in particular, I love because it has a way for you to organize every single day, even weekly and monthly. Along with that, we have sticky notes. Now that I have them set at my desk, I find that I will always reach for these whenever I have to write down a quick note. I've also been writing down little inspirational quotes on here because
They're so cute.
next we have books. Now, this is solely because of Gilmore Girls. Rory Gilmore is always carrying a book in her backpack. And you know what?
I get it.
If you also have a big gap in between your classes, I highly recommend always having a book in your car or in your backpack just in case you get bored and have nothing to do. So either carry around some of these educational books or a cute romance book. Quick side note, this book I got through, and that says a lot, and I cried
So much.
Along with this, I wanted to talk about setups. I have my iPad setup. The physical setup of it is with a Magic keyboard. I think that it has made a big difference in how I take notes and how I stay focused in class. And I will say the feeling of the keyboard is very premium. It feels really easy on the hands to type and everything. But what I'm more specifically talking about is the layout. I'm going to be changing it here with you guys. I am going to make it a little bit more study core aesthetic vibe. A few hours later, I finished. Basically just changed all of the widgets and changed up the vibe of everything, and even the background, it's basic paper. This just makes me a little excited to go to class tomorrow and start taking notes.
I did quickly want to share some fun and aesthetic note-taking apps. I was previously using GoodNote, which so far has helped me keep my classes very organized. However, I recently came across Kila Notes, which has so many cute cover templates and really cool page layouts. You can even create your own planner using some of their layouts that have weekly schedules, and you can take notes on their lined paper layout. I personally want to start using this for next semester. There's something that just lit up in me when I saw the aesthetic of this note-taking app. I was so eager to use it. I also highly recommend still taking physical notes. I feel like the use of physical items, highlighters, pencils, and just notebooks, for me, kind of hold that sense of excitement when it comes to school. I think that aspect of school still helps me romanticize it. This next group is called Dress to Impress.
By the name of it, you can guess it's all about wearing cute outfits. As someone who kind of grew up figuring out my style by going to school, I would literally wear my outfits to sleep because I was so excited. I think by dressing up in whatever makes you feel most confident, it just enhances the overall experience of wherever you're going or whatever you're doing. So I always like to treat school as my personal fashion show, and I think it's both a cool way to romanticize school but also figure out your own style. So I'm actually gonna be taking you guys with me to go shopping, and I'll show you guys pieces that are perfect for school outfits and also appropriate and stylish. Okay, let's go. Having this study space has completely transformed how I romanticize school because it has improved my study habits, my grades, my discipline, the overall experience of school. Now, that is a bold statement to make given this is literally just a desk. But before I had this own little space of mine, I kind of worked wherever I could, whether it was the dining room table or the kitchen table where there was food. It kind of just made the work that I was doing unenjoyable, thus making school unenjoyable. The matter of fact is that your environment can play a huge role into all different types of aspects of your life. Now, as a desk is typically used for working, studying, I think it is really important to have a space that is personalized to you. Decorate it with some of your favorite sayings and like little trinkets and stuff. I literally have this cute little Among Us candle that just sits on my desk. You do not need to be spending a lot of money to decorate your space. You can always go to Goodwill or Facebook Market for cheaper alternatives. Whenever I do go into a long study session or have to do a few assignments, I'll always make this study space as cozy and peaceful as can be. Especially at night, I'll always turn on my little lamp light here, some LED lights under, and then throw on some like lo-fi beats for in the background. To emphasize, this is not mean that you need to go out and buy a desk in order to feel this way. You can always go to local coffee shops or your school's public library and just have a specific study spot that works best for you. As you guys saw earlier in the video, I have a few of those spots of my own. I also personally really like to go to cafes and study by a window because there's just something that elevates the entire experience. In some of my videos, you've probably also seen that I like to do work at my mini coffee table that sits on my floor. It basically serves as my second desk, but since it's on the floor and it's like portable, I sometimes will take it out to my living room if I want to put on like a comfort show as I'm doing homework. I've seen other study YouTubers kind of do that, and I think it's a much cheaper alternative than just buying one of these desks. Another tip is to make a Pinterest board that is for your specific major or other subjects. I will link my Pinterest down below so you guys can check out my school related Pinterest board. You can literally just search up school inspo on Pinterest and you'll get like a handful of pictures that are related to school. I personally find a lot of motivation whenever I see someone's exam score and it's like an A+ or 100%. I'm like, wow, that could be me. I know you can add a Pinterest board as a widget so you can put that onto your phone or even your iPad, and then you'll basically have school related content to look at all the time, and it'll make you feel just a little bit better about school. Kind of serves as a motivation, inspiration. Now I'm going to rapid fire some extra tips for you guys. First, I've personally found that I romanticize a lot whenever I am absorbing other people's school related content. I tend to watch a lot of study tubers or have reels or fellow Instagram accounts that post like motivational school quotes, and then that motivates you to do what they're doing because that's actually what you should be doing. There's also a whole section on YouTube of study with me's. Now, if you don't know what that is, essentially someone just records themselves studying for an hour to 2 hours, and then you can play that as a video. Study with someone you don't even know, which is perfect if you don't want to go out to like a coffee shop and be around people. You'll have it in the comfort of your home. And typically every study with me that I've come across is so peaceful and aesthetic, and it kind of just inspires you to do the same. My last tip of the day is to have a study playlist or a good vibes playlist to play before you're going to class. Music can have a lot of effect on your emotions, and when you're in a calmer and better mood, I think it just enhances the enjoyment of going to school, you know, because we all know it's not always the best. Now that is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video on romanticizing 101. These can honestly apply to any aspect of life, but I really wanted to hound on school just because I know that many of us here are students. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the very next one, which hopefully is soon. Don't count on it, but I'll try. I hope you guys have an amazing day. From the freaking bottom of my heart, I love you guys so much. Truly. Hugs and kisses.